Hello, welcome to Weekly Recap. I am your host Vivian Kabono, and this is the show that brings you a recap of what has been happening locally and internationally in this week. This show is brought to you by NewsunplugKE. Kindly subscribe, like, share, and comment. Stay tuned. I hope your week was good, and so was mine. I thank God it has been successful, and I hope you was as well. On our first news this week, the Meru Governor Kawera Mwangaza survived the second impeachment after the case was taken to the Senate. Last year, just some few months after she got into the office, Kawera Mwangaza was already impeached by the county assembly. And they took the case to the Senate, who said that she was innocent. And now, this also happened this year. And 59 of the MCAs who were present, walisema yeye hafai kuwa kwa hii ofisi. 59 MCAs wakavote against her. And 10 were not actually present in the county assembly. So the case was taken to the Senate, and fortunately for Kawera, unfortunately for the MCAs, she was innocent. So Kawera had 7 charges, and she pleaded on Tuesday. She pleaded guilty. She pleaded not guilty on Tuesday. So the case was placed before the Senate on Tuesday, and it was to be listened for 2 days. And on Wednesday, Kawera akajitetea together with the lawyers and succeed. So on these 7 charges, one was sijui wanasema ana misappropriate use of funds, demeaning other leaders. There was a road allegedly that she had named after her husband, nepotism and unethical sijui practices, conduct. Jamani, kulikuwa na makesi nyingi. Lakini zote ilisemekana she's very innocent, and she actually, when she was talking, she said to the Kenyans, to the Meru leaders, the leaders who might be in this room, and to all the leaders in general, if I might have made any mistake or if I might have wronged you, I'm so sorry. So alijitetea, and the Senate listened to her, and after that she made a triumph entry back to Meru. Jamani, watu walimuimbia, watu walimsifu after ameshinda. So big up Kawera Mwangaza, but I really hope that you will be okay, and probably you will change if there was any wrongs that had been happening, and utawasamehe ambao walikuwa wanakutupia mawe. To our next story, a woman in Kirinyaga died after she drowned in a canal. May she rest in peace. Tabitha Wanjiru was a 23-year-old who was cleaning vegetables in a canal. To be specific, she was cleaning onions, and it is not very clear if she slipped or what happened, but unfortunately she drowned, and she might have slipped into the canal and she died. So the boda riders around the area saw her. Actually, this happened in Moya, Kirinyaga County, and even the sub-county commander has confirmed this, and they were saying that the body of Tabitha was taken to the morgue, to a local mall, and they were waiting for the family and the next of kin to come and pick her remains. So the boda riders around the area noticed that there was somebody in the river, but at first they thought probably it's just a child swimming, and they brushed it off, only to notice that it was actually Tabitha's lifeless body that was floating on the water. It is very unfortunate. She was such a young lady, but may she rest in peace, and probably we should be very careful when you're going. I do not know why she was cleaning onions on the canal, or I don't know, probably that's what they do, but we should be very careful, especially now that we will be getting into the festive season where we know a lot happens, but may she continue resting in peace. Moving on to our next story. The High Court refused to unfreeze a Kera man, so a man from Kera, who had 21 million in the account. So Mr. Wambua, who was an accountant of the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, was an accountant there, and he had 21 million in the bank. So Wambua gets 56,000 per month. But in very few months, he deposited around 1.68 million into the bank. And it is more than the money that he makes yearly. This raised a lot of suspicion. Now, Mr. Wambua, according to him and his lawyers, said that this money was for dowry. Hey, jamani, mwanamke unalipiwa hela 21 million for dowry. Hey, jamani, hey, watu wanatongoza huko nje. So, this is what happened. So he says that there has been a contribution that has been happening. Si unajua watu hizi group zenye zina happen za maharusi, watu wakioana unaadiwa kwa group, mchange, contribute for us. So that's what happened. So Mr. Wambua akaform group allegedly, and what he was placing to the court was screenshots of the group. And the judge was like, oh, how can we rely on this? So there has been online challenges to contribute towards him. And before now, the main goat eating ceremony, which was allegedly supposed to happen on July 28th. And the first ceremony or the first fundraising, so this money had the 21 million allegedly ilikuwa accumulatiwa after 4 events, michango minne ya kulipa haya mahari. So in this group, the first time they raised the money after the online challenge, it was 917,000 shillings. So they deposited the money immediately after. Now, according to him, there was supposed to have a first mchango on date 8th, date 8 of July. And what happened is on date 7, hapo katikati ya 7th and 8th, some members waka have an accident, and now he couldn't pay the dowry then because they had to take care of these people who had gotten an accident. So Mr. Wambua had 3 bank accounts. One had 5 million shillings. The second one, which was for the salary, allegedly, had around 264,000 up or 700 and something, 707. And the third bank account had around 15 million. And when the police wakakuwa very, hizi pesa, jamani unapata 56,000, but kwa banku kwa na hizi pesa zote, na umemake within these few days, what's not happening, you know? So the anti-corruption and the ethics and anti-corruption agency, they looked in the commission, they looked into the case and they started investigating him, and after they got a court order, they freezed his bank accounts. And to follow up, they went and searched his house and found 700,000 shillings cash. So 500,000, half a million, was hidden in the bedroom, and 200,000 was in a safe. Aliwapatia funguo wakapata cash, pesa utas. And he's saying that jamani ni freeze this and freeze this account so that I can go lipa the mahari, but it is yet to be checked into. Lakini inaonekana hii mchango ilienda vizuri sana. And moving on to our next story, taxes have been on the rise and people keep complaining. So it has not gone an extra step. Remember the last time when we were saying that a video we did last week where we were saying that there was this woman who was charged for a wedding dress? Now it's getting worse. Over time, replacing ID was always free. Na ikienda sana labda 100 bob or something. But now, replacing ID out of nowhere, out of the blues, all of a sudden it was 1,000 bob. And then they multiplied by 20-fold. Right now it is 2,000. Can you imagine? 2,000 shillings for an ID. And you know, this will be actually even it was being said, a citizen, Aneti said on the X app, said that this will make us not to practice our right of voting, because if accessing an identity card is that expensive, what about the poor people? What about the people who cannot access these services? What will happen? Not to forget that people are also complaining that they are also paying to get services from the government which should have been taken care of by the tax. To make the matters worse, they have increased taxes all over. Now, if you get a child, unajua sisi tuna wengine wetu yani tuna maono ya kupata watoto kule nje, alafu labda mizungu kwa alafu tuwalete huku Kenya. Sasa if you get a child outside abroad and you want to get a permanent citizenship for that baby, can you imagine you have to pay a whopping 1 million? Milioni moja ati ili mtoto akuwe na citizenship. And according to the immigration leader, one of the immigration leader, she said, she's Rosalind, she said that it was an error that happened. How do you tell me that it is an error that happened and it was all over the news? 1 million for this case. And they were to waliteta. And also accessing, especially with the documents, kitambo birth certificate and death certificates was free. Right now they have almost free. Right now they have been added by 4 times, 200 to access the birth certificate. If you're going to access the passports and or replace them, it has been added by a whopping 50%. Their money. Where are we headed? And Ruto addressed the nation. He had not spoken, but the first time he addressed the nation, he said that they do not want to make these moves, but they have to make them. They are being forced to make these moves. Ati ndio waweze kulipa madeni. Really now? Is that the card that you're pulling? Because it's okay, I understand we need to pay these debts, but there's no way you'll tell me we need to pay these debts na unaongeza kwa kulia unatoka kwa kushoto. Hivi inamaanisha kwamba sisi taxes zinaongezwa alafu unapata mishahara yao wakubwa imeongezwa. Hela zetu zinaenda wapi? Just yesterday I was at the Kid Festival on at the Kenya National Theatre. I was having a conversation with a German friend. He's a white, and he was telling me that they give even the government 40%, but at least they can see what's coming back. What about us? Are we seeing what's coming back? What's your comment? Do you think that the government is taxing us too much? Please comment down there. Tell us what you think. And darling, we're going to go for a very short break and we will be right back. Thank you and stay tuned. Thank you a lot. We are back and thank you for staying tuned. Have you subscribed? No? Please subscribe, like, share and comment. A Nairobi man has been charged for an attempt to sit for Kcse exams on behalf of students. Dennis Kiplangat, who is not a student, was planning to sit for exams on behalf of Nicholas Kiprono. Now these two were saying that they are brothers, which I don't think they were. And Dennis is the one who wanted to impersonate the Nicholas. Nicholas is the one who is the student. Now these two wakaingia kwa examination center 20 minutes after the exam had started. And the police officers and the ones who are like walikuwa wanaangalia hizo exams wakamwambia, okay, now that you have arrived, show us your identity cards and your index number. So Dennis removed the identity card and alitoa ya Nicholas. So it's very evident picha yako ya ID hazifanani na za mtu mwingine. So it was very evident it was not him. And they also didn't have the tools for the exams. They didn't have pens, they didn't have nothing. So wakawambia, do this, Nicholas, now go rush to the shop to get your brother some pens to do the exams. And the brother went. Now, they were very concerned. The police officers and the people in charge of the exams were very concerned. Okay, mmekuja late. Already this identity card does not reflect. Tell us about you. What has been happening? Wakaanza kumuuliza maswali. And it happens. Dennis did not have any idea about the exams that had been happening. He was even told to say his index number. And he did not know the index number. Of course, it was by Nicholas was the one who was supposed to know the index number. Also, he was told to read out his identity number aloud, and he could not. And he even didn't know the previous exams that had been happening. So when Nicholas came back, he was told, nawe tupatie basi ID yako. Akatoa ya Dennis. So the police officers wenye walikuwa huko kwa examination center wakajua hapa mnatucheza. They called the police. And wakaitiwa mapolisi wakapelekwa kwa Jogoo police station and they were placed before the magistrate at the Makadara and they were pleading with a lawyer. Please reduce the bail. First of all, Nicholas as is a student who is supposed to be sitting for an exam. So they were released on 200,000 shillings, and the case will be listened. It will be placed before the court at February next year, and now it will be listened from there. Hey, no corruption, hakuna wizi. Don't cheat on exams, man. You better just fail, but don't cheat on exams. When you tunasemanga ukule, the way the comrades say, you better have a soup than be caught with irregularities, because you will be suspended for no reason. We will be crossing over to the borders. Now, a 41-year-old woman was killed by her husband after she was caught with a boyfriend on their matrimonial bed. So Bwana Mali is the 50-year-old, and let me get Ephraim. Yeah, the lady was Ephraim. So the lady was caught with this man wakiwa na boyfriend yake kwa kitanda, and the man was very, very angry, and he took a knife, alichomoa kisu and stabbed the wife. I can imagine probably he was dealing with anger. He has no, how do I place this right, like he has no control of anger. And can you imagine now, he didn't even have remorse. So Bwana Mali, let me get the name of the woman right. Oh yeah, Chioneso. The woman was Chioneso Ephraim. So immediately after Bwana Mali stabbed this woman, I don't know where the boyfriend went. Immediately after he stabbed this woman, he called the woman, the wife's mother. Akamwambia, you know what? I've killed your daughter, and you will not see me from today. Na nimemua, come and take her remains. Can you imagine that? The audacity for me. How do you call your wife's mother after you have murdered her? And immediately akazima simu, he went missing. MIA, hajapatikana, and now the mother was very concerned. What is it true what I'm hearing? Can you imagine somebody calling you and telling you that he has killed your daughter? How would you take that? Dear viewer, just for a minute, think about it. How will you respond to that? That's nuts, right? So the mother definitely just hit hapo tu, akapigia the maid of now the house help, sorry, not maid, the house help, and asked her, is it true what I'm hearing? And the house help was like, yes, it is true. Bwana Mali has actually killed your daughter. And that was it. But it is the audacity for me, and they are still investigating this case and knowing how it will go. And the body was taken to the morgue. So don't cheat. Usijaribu. And also on your matrimonial bed, jamani. Hey, okay, I'm not saying it's good, but at least feature kidogo. And also for the men, hi, come on, just have some control. Kuwa na control, because if you get caught, you will waste your life in jail, and also you have killed the mother of your children, and you have killed somebody. You will never heal from that guilt. You'll always be guilty all your life. Anyway, what do you think? This man must have been having some anger issues. Write to us, comment and tell us, what do you think about this case? Moving on swiftly to our last story of the day, moving on internationally. 8 people died in a car crash after the immigrants were trying to run away from arrest by the police. Now, this happened in the U.S. southern state, Texas, and the car, which was a white Honda, was having allegedly some immigrants from another country, and now the police saw this, and they were suspecting that they were ferrying 5 immigrants who were not undocumented. That means that they were not supposed to be in the country, and they were definitely trying to make an arrest. And the driver of this white Honda decided, unajua haja hapa ni mpaka, unajua haja ni hapa ni mchezo wa paka na panya. He was trying to escape. Unfortunately, he just he overtook a truck, and he met head on with another car. It was a very, very bad a fatal accident, and 7 died on the spot, including an immigrant couple on the car. And one died immediately. The victim was taken to the hospital, and it was bad. But it seems that according to the immigration, and according to the states, to the US information, they're saying that there are a lot of immigrants, more than million, and they're dealing with that because they are not supposed to be in the country. And since Joe Biden got into the office at January, this has been a case that has been happening. It has been having amekuwa na headache sana kuhusu hii kitu ya immigrants, kwa sababu watu wanaingia kwa country kama hawafai. Unajua, this means it's undocumented people, so they are not access, like wanaifanya tu chini ya maji. And even they are bashing him, telling him that he has poor policies. But it is very sad that these people died. And when people are migrating, they're looking for greener pastures. So it's unfortunate, but hata saizi to move to a country is getting very hard, right? And I just hope that all will be well, and continue resting in peace the immigrants that died. But let's not try running away from the police officers at home and in the abroad. Thank you so much. Now, over the week, there has been a meme that has been trending about the taxes, which I addressed, that it is getting very expensive. It is hard living in Kenya, and now it is even harder living Kenya according to the passport prices. Anyway, over for the artists, this is for the artists. I'm glad that the government is actually looking at the artists, because actually it's even happening today and tomorrow. It's it has been running the whole week. So at the Kenya National Theatre, there has been Kenya International Theatre Festival that has been running, and it was international. So even artists from artists from other countries got into the festival, and it was amazing. A good time to interact with people and see what's happening in the art industry. Thank you a lot, dear viewer, for being together with us until this point. I do not take it for granted. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel at NewsunplugKE. You can also follow us across all social media platforms at NewsunplugKE as well. I go as Vivian Kabono, and you can also follow me across all social media platforms at ViviCabs. Thank you a lot. Do have a nice week.